We should be live broadcasting on a few platforms at the same time. And we're going to be focusing on this one and on this game and perhaps others, because there is a few chess events taking place right now. And yeah, we'll just do this as per usual together, my friends. Let me have a look here and see if TikTok is in order. Let me have a look on the TikTok. Oh, what was it? Finish on my coffee. Of course, we'll start another one soon enough. Back to Lichess. So we are on Lichess, right? Am I live on Lichess? That is, pardon me, guys. Let me double check something. And we'll return in due time to our coverage, live coverage. Okay. Streamer manager. Are we live though? It says the stream is approved and thing, but I'm not sure. Actually, I am broadcasting on lichess.org. Ooh, doesn't show anything here. Yeah, I'm not gonna start all over again. Let me see what's going on. Okay, let's see. It should appear here, right? Like a confirmation or something, or maybe it's a bit lagging for some reason. Let's see. So pardon for this, guys. Anyway, until our friends gather. We have a handful of viewers there joining. Okay, looks a little bit frozen now. So, okay, let me check and see what other things take place. Oops. So that's the Lichess window, right? Look like it's trying to buffering or something. Let me go to the other page. All right, so that's the TikTok page, right? And that's fine. But we're gonna go to Lichess now. Oh, okay, cool. So it is live afterwards on the Lichess. Okay, hosted the live stream. So I guess it's just going right now. All right, let's go to Anish, Giri, and Hans Niemann. And we're just going to discuss it. Where is it? Hans Niemann, this one. Of course, we're going to visit some other chess events, my friends. I hope this sound is okay. Yeah, should be okay. I can see that. And, okay. Last move that was played here, bishop to e6, attacking this guy, which is defended by the bishop. Are you going to play a rook on the d file? It looks like white might be interested in getting some rooks. It is normal to try to control the open files with something like rook 8 d1. It makes sense. It makes sense. White's to play. Anish's turn now. 1 hour for him and 1 hour 9 minutes for Hans. So that's a classical type of control here. So you're gonna have 90 minutes for 40 moves, if I remember correctly. So then again, a rook ad1 kind of seems to make sense here, but there is also a bit of pressure here on this guy. What do you do about that pawn? What do you do about that one? Rook ad1, knight takes c4. 3 4 7 3 4 7. Do you have to play knight f3 to d2, just defending e4? And also at the same time, you provide some extra little defense to the c4 knight. Although the bishop on f1 just does the job to keep the knight alive on c4. Yeah, just wondering if knight d2 would be the move to consider here. Also, those bishops, I mean, the bishop on e6 looks quite concerning here for white. Hits the h3. It is defended, yeah, of course. But it's good to keep that in mind. Those guys are dangerous. Right, so knight fd2, what do you think about this one, guys? If you have some different ideas, do let me know. That's okay. So we are streaming on leechess.org. So bishop b6 now. You can't just ignore it. You can't move the bishop away because rook is targeted. So now bishop takes, knight takes with tempo hitting the rook in the corner on a8. Streaming for now, guys. Do you want to say something? Okay, just I think the cable should stay like that, I guess. Okay. Cable should stay like that. Okay. So rook had moved now. Knight was attacking. Rook a to b8. No longer targeted. That gives you a chance to take initiative. Now, if I am to look at rook a d1, rook takes, you're going to lose e4. So you've got to do something else rather than rook a d1. What exactly? I don't know yet. Is this pawn that is actually hanging? How do you defend it? How do you get the rook in the game? How do you get the rook on the d file? Which rook goes on the d file? Or should you play the knight back? Just looking at a5, should you play knight c4? Knight c4 back, double attack on e5 and hitting the a5 black pawn, I think makes sense. Knight c4, knight c4, knight c4, I think makes sense, right? Knight c4. Knight to c4. Well, I don't think it's that bad. If bishop takes, and that's fine. You just traded a very dangerous bishop. The bishop on e6 is dangerous, so if you want to take care of that bishop, you may want to try this knight c4. I like knight c4, knight b6 to c4. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Double attack e5 and attacking a5. This and this pawn here. I like it. It's okay. What do you think about this idea, guys? Let me know if you think differently or if you got a better plan. Feel free, guys, to type in your option here. I'd go for knight c4 myself because I like it. It's an attacking move. It's an attacking move. Yeah, I know the knight on b6 will not allow rook d7 and doubling off the rook. True, but on the other hand, you do attack two weaknesses at once. Yeah, I don't know. If you came for chess, you're welcome. If there's anything else you're interested, you might be interested in finding a different type of broadcast, my friend, the Wizard of Oz. So so yeah, guys, we're not using any type of during the stream. We stay away from the softwares. It's just that after the game had finished, we can go back and verify with the almighty Stockfish what could have been the better move or the better plan, that is. But for the time being, I think it's great for learning to actually do not use any software during the live games because you will be actually forced to think for yourself. And I think it's an improvement. It's good to try to look at the game this way and try and see if you can find similar ideas with a super player, super grandmaster. And that's the best way, I think. Okay, so that's one game, but you know something, guys? I think it might take a while for Anish Giri to decide which way to go. Therefore, I think we can visit some other chess events. We've got a few more chess events happening right now on this Saturday, 10th of August. So, and we're going to be coming back. I know I've advertised it with Hans Niemann and Anish Giri. I know that. But because it's just one game here, I think it's okay if we have a look at other chess events. So you wouldn't mind, I guess, guys, if we have a look at the, what is that, Dortmund Chess Grand Prix Romania and Spilimbergo. I think Levi Rosman plays in this one. Okay, let me see. No, it's better to watch without the engine on because you're making the human mind to being sort of lazy, and you're actually not improving because the software feeds you with information and you don't make a bit of an effort. So I don't think there is any considerable improvement by leaving the engine on for the duration of the games. So that's how I think. Totally. So where is Levy? What board is he? He's playing in this one, right? I think I read somewhere. Let's see what he's doing. The Francesco. I don't know those guys. Of course, that's okay. We got a few GMs here playing. Here's an IM. Right. Mariusz, that's Polish guy, I think. What's it? German. Okay. Nikhil. Okay, I don't know what board is he playing. I can't see him here. I don't know. Maybe you guys know what board is Levy having. Okay, let's look here. Let's look at this one. Grand Prix Romania. What players have we gotten? We got a few. We got a few guys playing right now. I think Bogdan Daniel. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this one here. Okay, last move being bishop c5. Okay, what is the intent here? Bishop c5. Okay, you want to make a battery. You will not allow the rook to move away. Okay, I get it. I get it because there is a battery on f2. Fine. Does he want to put... You can't push the pawn, right? Because they're going to take anyway. What else do you do here? What else is here? Is he planning perhaps knight to g4, so triple attack here? That might be the case. That might be the case. So if you are to give black now another move, I mean black's turn, right? No, it's white's turn, sorry. Probably h3 to stopping knight g4. Because if knight g4, you're going to have triple attack on f7. And then there is a thing. Then you have to be very careful about this. What other stuff is available here? You might be able to play knight e2, just attack the queen. The queen then has to move. Probably. Or h3. Okay, in between knight e2 and h3, which one is the real deal? Which one is the most aggressive move here? I wonder. Knight e2 attacks the queen, right? So queen has to go. h3 will not allow knight g4 or the bishop. So neither knight nor bishop can play on g4 if you do h3. It's a prophylactic thing, they call it in chess, when you try to prevent something bad from happening. And you just go with this sort of prophylactic moves. So probably h3, probably knight e2. You guys feel free to tell me if you spot another one. Feel free to tell me, guys. Yep. Okay, so that's about this game. White's turn. Probably we're going to come back to watching Bogdan Daniel playing. I couldn't find Levi Rosman anywhere here. So let me look for the... here it is. Board number 15. There you are. Board number 15. And let me cover the candidate moves or anything. We don't want to see anything. So knight e6 being played here. What is going on? So he got 1 hour. The other guy, Sheikh Summer, okay, 1 hour, 26 minutes or so. Okay. I don't think you need castle. Is rook takes a6 playable here, I wonder. Rook takes a6. And if pawn takes, you could potentially play knight c7. And you having practically the bishop pair. Okay, what do you think, guys, about rook a6? Very, very genuine question. What do you think about rook a6, guys? Rook takes a6. B takes a6. Attacking knight. Then you're going to play knight c7. check the king and fork the rook. King has to go. That's a forcing move. King has to go. Probably king d8, right? And then you're gonna capture. Your knight might get trapped after all. I'm not sure you could escape. King's gonna go towards your knight. But anyway, you still got your bishop there. So this should be okay. And then maybe bishop takes a6 and stuff. And king e2 and then some rook h to g1. Just keep an eye on this column. The g7 pawn also. And yeah, you need to waste a few tempi to get the bishop on c1 to actually do something. Yeah, rook takes a6 makes a lot of sense here, Wizard of Oz. That's what I would think as well. Rook a1 takes a6 makes sense. Makes sense, yeah. And you're gonna take it back with the knight c7. Absolutely. Yeah. I would say all the signs point towards rook captures a6. Yeah, I agree on this one, my friend. Rook a6. ba6, knight c7, king d8, knight takes a8, and you're just going to play like this. Enjoying the bishop pair again. And the fact that your bishop on f1 will take on a6, you take a pawn back, and that's good. I think makes sense. Let me grab this beverage. Yeah, makes sense. He didn't move yet, right? He takes his time. He got 1 hour, 7 minutes. Okay. That means we can go back to Anish, Giri, and Hans Niemann. Okay. Let's revisit the game we started with, my friends. Anish, Giri, and Hans Niemann here. So what happened in this game, actually? I had suggested at some point knight b6 to c4, but he opted for b4. Okay, he creates a pass on the a file or something. Okay, he gonna leave the knight there for the time being, I reckon. What is he playing? Does he want to play bishop c4 or something? There is something with the c4 square for sure. Something's gonna happen with the c4. It could be some preparation. I don't even know what they played. Thanks for the question. I'm gonna go back and double check the whole of the game. It looks slightly unorthodox and quite tactical. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back and check the game from the very beginning, from the very first move, and let's see how actually they got there. Okay. So I was just curious to see. All right. Could it be bishop c4 the next move here? Challenging here, threatening to do double pawns on the e file, sort of forcing maybe bishop take, knight takes, and then double attack on e5. Knight c4, knight f3, attacking on e5 twice. Makes sense. Sort of makes sense. I think probably. Or you're gonna go a5. I'm not sure. It's an idea, definitely. Definitely knight c4 is an idea. Apart from that, yeah, we can debate. And now let's go back to the to Levy's game, and let's have a look at the evolution of the game. What was that? Spillenbergo. How do you pronounce it? Okay, he was board number 15. Yes, okay, playing this guy. Right, so let's go from the very beginning quickly, briefly here, guys. All right, knight f3, d5, e3, pn, c4, Zucatot, c6, queen 2, b3, pressurizing the b7. I don't play this with white, but that doesn't mean we don't have to look at it and understand it. Okay, so the b7 square, queen to b6, takes on d5, queen captures, you take with a, opening up the a file for the white rook. Bishop takes, and that's the position. Zucatot opening, that is the position. And now we're getting closer to the actual moment of the game. Knight c3, attacking the d5 square. e6, natural move. Knight to b5 actually wants to go on c7, and now the CM Sheikh Sama plays knight a6. And now I suspect, Wizard of Oz, I suspect this is a theoretical line. You can see on the right-hand side on the screen, actually, there is a display with the games at least available on the Lichess archive. You can see two guys, quite strong guys, that drew in this Zucato at A06 opening. So I guess it's a theoretical preparation for Levy and probably for the other guy as well. I'm pretty sure this guy's did the homework. Now, not knowing the opening because I do not play it, I suspect rook a6 makes a lot of sense here. It's got to be a theoretical approach with rook captures a6. It's got to be. Because then knight c7 makes a lot of sense. And based on the fact you enjoy the bishop pair, could be slightly beneficial for, more beneficial maybe for white. I guess. And after you play, say, bishop captures a6, you're going to play king e2. You're going to have to waste some tempo pushing the d pawn. I don't know where. Probably d4, right? And then you're going to get bishop d2. And you're going to play like this. Rook here, rook h to g, stuff like that. So I think rook takes a6 makes a lot of sense. I'm curious to see if actually Levy goes for this. Now, if he indeed prepared it, and if this is part of his personal preparation, I guess he should have moved a little bit faster perhaps, or maybe he tries to remember some stuff. What can I say? It does take some time for him to decide what to play. And now I don't know, is he actually calculating as we've done, or he already knows the lines or something? So I can't answer this question. I don't know. I guess if you prepare the line, you wouldn't waste too much time with this. I mean, you're just going to play it like almost automatically. Rook takes a6. You wouldn't spend enormous time here. And I don't know. Has he forgotten something? Or is there another stuff he tries to remember? Who knows? Who knows? Right. So now going back to Niemann and Anish Giri. Yeah, hello Yash. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I absolutely don't know. But you know what's interesting? Anish Giri also didn't move for some time here. And thanks for visiting again, Yash. Okay, so what did the guys play here? So let's just take it a bit backwards. So, okay, c takes b4, right? King to f8. You want to get probably black Hans wants to get king on e7, I suspect. Or you want to go e8 and you want to preserve this for the knight, or I think you may want to go knight f4 rather. Anyway, g3, g3 exactly to stopping. So I think I understand now, amongst others. So g3 move is a stopping knight to f4. And if I'm correct, it does allow king to g2, and then you can move the bishop wherever you want to move the bishop. So g3 defensive purposes, so to speak, but also shielding the king onto g2. So you're going to put the king on g2 with white. I think makes sense. Yeah. I've noticed, yeah, Levy tends to spend some time, and maybe a bit more time than the other guy he plays against. And yeah, we'll see. That's it's curious. Yeah, we're gonna find out, I'm pretty sure. I'm curious to see if he actually takes rook a6. I am curious myself, guys. So that's what I make of the g3 move. So, and then knight e8 had been played by Hans. What does he want to do with the knight on e8, actually? Where does he want to go with the knight? Does he want to go c7, and in case of an a5, he wants to play knight to b5? Okay, it's a plan at least. Maybe it works. Okay, so he played knight e8 to reroute the knight via c7, right? And if there's something like this, a5, you just then gonna jump knight to b5 and leave the knight on b5 or something. Okay, it could be. It could be. This is yeah, this is Hans Niemann versus what? Hans Niemann versus Against the World or something. It just yeah. When you are like a super grandmaster and a little bit known or famous, probably you can come up with whatever you want to make up. I mean, you could do whatever you want. If you have enough publicity and stuff, you can invent whatever you want. You know. So yeah. And if you find the right sponsorship, then of course you could do event after event. But anyway, given the fact that it's chess played at the, so to speak, highest level, I think we just enjoy it as chess spectators, chess learners, enthusiasts, and students, teachers, etc. I think we just enjoy watching them playing anyway. Whatever the pretext, whatever the tournament, whatever the name and stuff. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know who said it. It was a quotation, I think, in advertising. It was something like, there is no such thing as a bad publicity, right? How was it? I mean, all publicity, good, bad is good in the end because, yeah, there was something like this. Yes, exactly. Yes. Exactly, Wizard of Oz. Exactly. Yeah, so that's cool. And a few very entertaining chess events are going to happen too. Is the San Luis Rapid and Blitz, and you gotta get a handful of Super Grandmasters fighting again. Oh yeah, that one I really want to cover it. I think it's on 6th of September. Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann. Absolutely, that one has to be covered. I hope I won't be caught up into some external events, so to speak, because I'm really keen on and looking forward to covering that event. Yes. Magnus Carlsen, Hans Niemann, totally. I really want to cover that one. Absolutely, I do want to. I hope I won't have other commitments or things, but I really look forward to. Okay, so let's go back a little bit briefly to board 15, Levy and Sheikh Sama. Hey, why didn't he move? I don't know. I don't know. I think rook takes a6 is the correct move here, but he didn't conclude yet, or he's just calculating God knows what. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. He didn't move. I think he spent, what, like 15 minutes until now or something? So I don't know. Okay, let's go to Grand Prix Romania, though, because it was Bogdan Daniel. He's also played... Hey, I did say knight g4 ages ago. What did White play here? Okay. Yeah, you can pick up, take whatever you want. Oh, yeah, that's okay. It's not on the camera or anything. Just go grab whatever. Right. So I did say previously, guys, if you remember, I did say about the knight to g4 with the triple attack on f2. I did say that. Anyway, Daniel played d3 here. All right. And now black played knight g4 as I had anticipated. And now you've got to figure out, if you're playing with the white pieces having this position, you have to figure out how you respond to those three pieces aiming at f2. Because black attacks it 3 times, right? So you have to do something. What do you do? What's his plan with the d3? It's not very clear to me why he did d3. I mean, I understand d3 because you want to open up the bishop's diagonal, right? I understand that. But why didn't he play h3 maybe? Or, of course, definitely. There is a tactic I'm not saying. but white to play. Would you play bishop e3 here? Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes, though, with check. So you're not going to take the bishop because your king is in check. So I guess bishop e3 doesn't work unless you got something else. Again, I don't know what that is. Is he playing knight e2? What? Knight e2. Knight e2. Knight e2. Queen has to move. Knight e2. I don't know what is white's plan here, though, Yash. I don't know what was the thing with d3, knowing that actually knight g4 were to happen. If we saw it, I'm pretty sure the GM should have seen it too. So I don't know what's the defense against knight g4 now. I guess you can cook something, but I mean, I don't know. What do you play? Do you take on e4? Oh, apologies. Is knight e4, guys. That's the defense, Yash. I'm not sure the pawn is gone. It's knight e4. Knight e4, which defends f2 and attacks c5. And there is other subtleties too. Knight takes c4, I think, is the next move that Bogdan is going to play. Knight takes c4. Bishop captures. And pawn takes, right? And then if you take with a knight, if you take with the knight, what do? Knight e4. Bishop takes. Pawn takes. Knight f2. What do you play? It's not clear if that's actually working. I don't know what the plan is for white. I don't know what's the plan for white here. Is it bishop e3 or knight a4? Knight e4, sorry. Or knight e2. Which way does it go? Is it knight e2? Knight e2. You attack the queen, right? With tempo. Queen has to go. It's a must. I guess that's the defense. It's knight e2 first, and then you're gonna take. Then you see what you're doing. Maybe you're gonna push the pawn. Bishop takes. Knight takes, and if queen takes, I'm gonna take on f7 and take your queen, right? So I guess the defense is based on knight e2, actually, which hits the queen with tempo. You tell me, guys, if you think I'm correct or not. Knight e2, you attack the queen. That's not no if, no, but you just attack the queen here with this move. So you're going to push the queen away. It's knight e2 is the defense, Yash, I'm telling you. It's knight e2. I think it's knight e2. Queen has to go. Again, after this happens, you're going to push d4. You're going to push d4. The bishop cannot take. Because you take, and after queen takes, bishop f7, and you take the queen. So knight e2, queen f6, just saying. Although you could do maybe queen e5, or maybe you could do queen d6. It's not clear just yet. It's complicated. Knight e2, queen has to go somewhere, then you push d4, and I think it works as a defense. I think it works as a defense. And now, until he decides what to do, we are rotating again, guys. Let's see what Anish and Hans did here. Yeah, I did say king e7 at some point because you want to get your king to the center. It's still tactical middle game, but the end is near. a5 happened, though. I said that one as well. a5, I did say it ages ago. And now it works. Knight c7 for knight b5, but there is a bishop here, really? Knight b5, bishop takes, pawn takes. I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Well, knight c7 can happen. What does he want to do with the knight, though, Anish? Does he want to go c5, get rid of this bishop? Probably he want to get rid of the bishop on e6, you know. And he wanted to Get on c5, so knight a4 for knight c5, right? Where else do you want to go? I don't know what else you want to go. Unless you want to play knight b2 to... that just doesn't make any... Yeah, knight c5 though. And then you're going to trade off the bishop. Knight c5 and you're going to take. Either king takes or pawn takes, whatever. As long as you remove the bishop. Knight c7, which we did say. I did say knight c7. And now the question is if knight c5 in order to challenge the bishop. I mean, it makes sense. You want to remove the bishop on e6. Probably you should think about removing it somehow. Trade it. It makes sense. It does make sense. Knight c5. I guess that's the best stuff you could do. The most aggressive move you could play. Knight c5. What do you think, Yash and Wizard of Oz? What do you think? Is it knight c5? That is true. So perhaps a king to g2 as a intermezzo, as an in-between move, perhaps at some point. But I'm not sure when exactly. But for white now, I think knight c5 makes a lot of sense. So maybe you want to remove the bishop on e6 first, and then you're going to play something else. I don't know. King g2 in order to use your bishop to something else. Yeah. That's how I think about this. Thanks for confirming. Was there? Yeah, absolutely, totally. Knight c5 all day here with white. Yeah. And you know, the cool stuff is the more you actually manage to anticipate this guy's moves, the better you actually approached yourself the same kind of understanding, and that's how you progress yourself. So this kind of dialogue and debate you're having with your friends and club mates and folks online, that's exactly what makes you progressing in chess as a chess player. So did he actually play it? Let me see. Oh, he didn't. Sorry, it was a mouse click. All right, let me go back to the other two games. We said Levy, that took him like ages and he still didn't move. Oh, finally he made a move, believe it or not. Oh man, he spent like 20 minutes and he opted for d4 rather than rook captures a6. He played d4. Okay. Yeah, one thing at a time, Wizard of Oz. Don't forget, one thing at a time. You don't need to do anything else. The one stuff at a time. All right, d4 had been played by Levy here instead of rook a6. I don't know which one's better. I mean, I hope that maybe rook a6 would have worked. Okay, d4 allows bishop d2, right? So, okay, you could get your bishop to do something. All right, fine. He can still play rook a6, but if the rook moves, okay, you're going to take on a7, right? I don't know. Perhaps. Definitely d2 to d4 vacates the square for the bishop. So you could do bishop d2. Okay. If you want to play like this. b4 is currently under black's control because of the knight and because of the bishop. So that has to be factored in. So bishop d2, bishop d3. I don't know. Do you castle short here? I don't think so. I think you're going to play king e2. It's as if you had castled. And also, yeah, your king is closer to the center. So, yeah. Okay, this is just a little bit unexpected. It makes... I understand. Probably it's not a blunder. I don't think it's a blunder, but... Okay, puts a stop to possible e5. Like you are stopping black to pushing two middle pawns, but Okay, I don't know. I would have probably taken the knight. Knowing myself, I would probably take on a6. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something, but anyway. I haven't, Yash, I haven't seen a. I haven't. I had a few days with the summer camp work, and I wasn't available for other chess virtual delightments, so I had to do the work at the summer camp. So I didn't. And now there was something cool here we were watching as well. Hey, he didn't move nothing. White's still thinking. Okay, my interpretation is knight e2, probably the strongest move White has available here. Also pushing the queen away from the triple attack on f2. Knight, queen, and bishop. I think it makes sense. Knight e2. That's probably the best way to play. We'll see if I'm right or not. I mean, if the other guy thinks similarly or not. Or maybe he got a different plan. I'm not sure. Knight e2, that makes sense. Okay. Yay, he did knight e2 after like, how many, 20 minutes? Oof, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm happy that actually he just confirmed the move he played. Daniel just confirmed our own attempts to think like themselves. Thanks for joining, Palash. We're gonna watch. Yeah, we're gonna go back to that game and discuss it again. It's not just wins a pawn, I think, but I think it's totally worth another revisit. Right, so knight e2 here definitely pushes the queen away. Queen has to go. Queen goes. There you go. There you go. Queen f6. I did say also queen f6. Now, I think you have to play d4, right? You got to play d4 here. You have to play d4. And then we'll see. Maybe you play h3 and also send the knight away, which has to go on h6 because e5 is taken because you've just pushed d4. Let's just show to all our friends here that after d4, if bishop takes, which would be a blunder, of course the other guy would see it. He's a GM after all. They both GMs after all. So if d4 and bishop takes, knight captures back, you cannot take it with the queen due to bishop f7 check and discovered attack on the queen. So d4 and the bishop has to move, and that gives you a tempo to play another attacking move, perhaps h3, knight h6, and then we can debate if g4 is the correct way to continue or something else. I don't know. We can take it from there. I know that the a5 is also sort of hanging. We'll see. We can debate on this. And now let's go to the stuff that Palash said it's not convincing to play rook captures a6. So let's see. Board number 15 was A, right? Board number 15. So let me just go back a bit. So my thinking was rook takes, right? And that forces black to take. And then knight c7, right? And king is in check. They move. Probably d8, right? And knight takes a8. So also bishop will take on a6. I think it's quite convincing to me. Unless, again, I'm missing some tactics. Which is possible, always. But it looks to me, you take your stuff back, you give black double pawns, you're going to take on a6 with your bishop, and then you can play d4 and get bishop d2 if you really want to. Then you can play d4, bishop d2. But in order of priorities, I think rook takes a6 could have been perhaps the move to play here. So to me, at least, I think it's quite convincing. It's okay to have the bishop there. Black also moving the king. They can't castle. Their king is exposed, you know. And they still have to do some tempi to getting those guys in the game. The bishop and the knight. And the rook, of course. You don't need to save the knight because you got 2 minor pieces versus 2 minor pieces. Why would you save the knight? Yes, because you've got two bishops. The other guy has a bishop and a knight. It's fine from a material point of view. On the contrary, I think you're going to take also the pawn on a6. So black's going to have 6 pawns, right? And you're having 7 for the time being. So I think it's okay, whichever way you want to look at it. Unless, again, there is something else I'm not seeing. True, but you can't have them all. I mean, I understand, but you can't have them all. It's okay if you go with this. I think it's okay if you go with this. But then again, maybe there is a theoretical line. Maybe he went for something that he learned. I really don't know. Probably he's gonna say in the next video or broadcast, he's gonna say what has happened in this position. Yeah, we can watch him afterwards and see whatever he gotta say about this. Yeah. Okay, what did the guys do here? Hey guys, you were correct. We were correct in our assessment on many aspects. Knight c5, as we were discussing with the Wizard of Oz, we did discuss about knight c5 as making a ton of sense. And bishop f7, of course, that was the reason behind the f6 move that black played in order to create an escaping square for the bishop so that he doesn't trade the bishop. Okay. And also he defends e5 natural now with the f6 defending e5, so there is no knight attacking e5 now, and you're good for this. But it's also an invitation by the looks of it to play knight h4 and f5. I don't know when, but it looks like an attractive idea. Knight h4, knight f5 check. I think makes a lot of sense. Also, you're checking the king and you attack g7. Whose turn is it? White's turn. Probably Anish just calculates this as we speak. Knight h4 for knight f5, I think. Oh, we could also calculate stuff like rook d. And if black doesn't take, you could take, and if they take with the other rook, b7 might be captured, theoretically. It's a long stretch, but anyway, it's good to highlight all these ideas. So knight on c5, not just attack the bishop on e6. There you go, knight h4. So as you could see, guys, we don't need the engine to anticipate the moves that this guy's doing. So I did say knight h4 because it makes sense to want to play knight f5 check on g7. And g6 had been played with the main purpose stopping knight f5. He just defended it with the boss. He just defended with g6, which does not allow your knight to jump on f5. And now you got to think if you want to get the knight back, because you're going to keep that guy forever on the margin, right? So if you're happy with knight being on a rim, if you're not happy, you will have to waste another tempo to get the knight back on f3. And you take it from there. So you got to engineer something else. Maybe then knight d2, maybe then knight c4. You know, if bishop takes, you're going to replace it nicely with your bishop. So now you have to redo the whole plan. And what I'm seeing here is that Anish Giri is on 33 minutes, half an hour, say, and the other guy is double. Well, that's a good question. Yes, I think I like your question. It's a very, very interesting one. That's a good question. Maybe a bit too slow now. Maybe white should be considering rook c to d file, perhaps. Maybe you wanna. No, bishop c4 has been played immediately. Bishop c4, no time wasting. Bang. Yeah. And Hans retreats the bishop on e8, still defending g6 twice though, and conceding giving white a lot of space. And he moves so fast. Anyway, faster than Anish. So bishop to e8 now. He played bishop to e8. Very defensive passive bishop. I mean, this bishop just defends and nothing else. I think rook c d1 is very highly required here. You have to get your rooks on an open file. And then you're going to have to try and capture this guy. They can't take with the rook because you're going to take b7. Therefore, they have to take with the king. And then you may think about f4. Rook cd. Looks to me that white should be playing here. That's what I would play. Rook c1 to d1. Opposing the black rook. You know, d file has to be claimed all the time. So why not rook cd? So what I was saying was rook cd in terms that I will take the rook and black will be forced to take back with the king, not with the black rook, because I'm winning b7 and then I'm going to promote this a pawn. If you refer to the ideas I was saying. So rook cd for taking, and black rook can't take, therefore king must take. So, okay. That's what I was saying. I think maybe white is doing a little bit better, slightly better. Slightly better for white, right? Not super better, just a bit better, right? Maybe plus 0.70 something, plus 0.50 from a positional point of view, because you're doing the attack, you're calling the shots, you're having initiative with white pieces here. So maybe from this point of view. When you've got, so thanks my TikTok friends. Oh, that's very kind of you, my friend. Yeah, it's very kind of you. We're just trying to make a conscious effort here, trying to think those moves. Yeah, indeed. It's a bit more than an hour. So he got plenty of time to complicate it or giving some very much time consuming to his opponent. Let's go to Levy now and see what he does. And then to Daniel and so forth. Or if you guys rooting for someone in particular. Right, where was it? Board 15. Board 15. What's going on here? Rook a6, d4 to get bishop d2, right? Bishop to b4 check, and, well, you're in check. You have to play bishop d4, right? You have to. I can't even consider for a second king e2. I can't do this kind of bone cloud. That just doesn't make any sense. King d2, you kind of can play it, but doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. The only move that I consider here is bishop d2. So bishop d2 is the move I consider. Simply because if black doesn't take, but very likely black will capture on d2. But if black doesn't, and they had like a bad day and they blunder, I would take, and after knight takes, you can play knight c7, you check the king, and you take the rook. King e2, I hate it here. I can't do bone cloud. I mean, I can't even do this. I can't do this. I can't block my own bishop. Maybe some other guys can, but I don't do that. It goes against the principles it goes against the chess principles. I can't do this. I guess you can play whatever you want. I mean, not whatever you want, but king e2 is never my type of play here. No. Bishop d2 makes a lot of sense. And then again, he spends so much time. Bishop d2, let's look. Bishop d2, bishop takes, king takes. That's okay. It's what you wanted anyway. You know, move the king up. You make a king lift. You have to move also the bishop on f1 somewhere. Maybe bishop d3. And then you're going to play rook g1 perhaps. You know, you attack g7. They have to defend somehow. Maybe g6. They weaken the dark squares. Okay, you don't have any bishop and any queen, but, you know, all things added, you're creating weaknesses, so to speak. So, okay, bishop d2, king, bishop takes, king takes. I think so. I don't see why not. You also have some, after bishop disappears, you also have the knight e6 check, and then you can take b7. There's a lot of good stuff happening. Hello, Aditya. Thanks for visiting the stream, the live stream. This is a live games. I'm covering the live games, a couple of them. There is a lot of chess events lately, and today after the house chores, I decided to get a coffee and just try to cover this live games now happening. During school terms, I'm actually doing 6, 7 p.m. in the evenings, but because it's Saturday and the club normally that I'm going to had closed now, so you know, we'll play, but not quite at this moment now. I think I just covered this. I'm covering these but anyway, follow me on YouTube, befriend me on Chess and chess.com, and yeah, we're gonna do some bullets, some blitz at some point. Maybe blitz, maybe some rapid, why not? Okay, so that's how I look at this position, guys. I think bishop d2. That's how I think. So let me see how Bogdan Daniel decided to play here. Where is he? Where are you, man? Let me see. Where is he? He was here. Did he disappear or something? Where did you disappear, man? I don't know. Oh, that's Dortmund. Sorry, guys. I messed up the chess events. Apologies. It's Grand Prix Romania. Okay, there is board number 2. So, hey, I'm very happy they did the d4 because I did advocate for this one. So d4, again, bishop takes blunder, knight takes, queen takes blunder, bishop f7 wins the queen. So bishop had to go away. And now bishop to f4 attacks the bishop, so you can't say you're going to move e7 because you're going to lose the rook. So that's what it is. If bishop takes, obviously you take back with the knight. And that's what it is. Then you could play knight to d5 perhaps. So bishop takes f4, knight takes f4. Again, you can't touch the white pawn because it's a discovered check, bishop f7 check, and you're going to lose the queen on d4. So black has to be careful. The d4 is a very, very poisonous pawn. And very harmoniously he developed bishop f4. If bishop takes, knight takes. I think that makes sense. 4-3-7, 2-3-5. I think white is doing better. And also, there's a big question mark about the a5 black pawn, which will be captured sooner or later. So this guy on a5 will be captured. So white should be winning because then you have the pawn majority on the queen side. You got A and B passed pawns, and that means you're going to win. Long term, medium long term, white's going to win. And if you want to consider also the time, 34 minutes for white and 8 minutes for black. So white should be totally better here. White should be winning. Let's see Niemann and Anish. Hey, but Anish Giri really takes his time. He really takes his time, which is probably good, but you got 24 minutes and the other guy 1 hour. Maybe you should move a little bit faster. Thank you very much, with the boss. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate, my friend. See you on the next one. Or you could check my latest YouTube videos. I'd greatly appreciate, guys, if you were to follow me on YouTube as well. Thank you very much, my friend. So rook c to d makes a lot of sense. You always want to oppose the black rook. You want to claim the d file. And yeah, that makes sense. And Yash said at some point something about the f4 being played. Maybe. There is no queen. There is no dark square bishop. Okay, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, makes sense. Probably it's definitely exploitable. Is Anish going to keep the knight on h4, or is he going to play knight f3 and then what? d2 and then b3? That takes a billion moves here. It just takes so long. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Or maybe f4, f5? Yeah, that probably is an idea, but I'm not sure again. Rook cd for the time being. So I'd say rook c1 to d1 for a starter. We'll take it step by step. Rook cd, see how black reacts to this. And then you're going to take the rook. And let's see. All right, cool stuff. Cheers, my friend. Excellent. Okay. All right, back to Levy's game. Board number 15. Let's see if there's any progress here. So thanks for following. I heard the signal here. Yeah, thanks very much. Appreciate a lot. Bishop c1, bishop to d2. Hey, things had changed slightly here. I don't know. He dropped the knight on b5, which I thought was meant to actually stay here to constantly threaten c7. He actually blocked it with the knight. And at the same time, he opened up the bishop and the rook for double attack on a6. I get it. I understand. Knight went to c7 for this reason, I suspect, right? You don't want to lose your guy and then drop the pawn and things. So knight c7, I see, okay. Rook to a4. Interestingly, what can I say? You attack the rook, you want to ask the question, you want to see how your opponent's going to do. a5, nah, okay. I don't know. I just don't like it very much. What else had happened? Nothing else had... Oh, yeah, bishop d2, which I would have played. Knight e7. Black is ready to castle, so to speak. A white's turn, 40 minutes here. I guess you should go bishop d3. Or you could go bishop b5, actually. Okay, bishop b5 checks the king. That's for sure. But black can play even knight c6 and then castles. They could. You could hope about them taking you so you can take them back and threaten c7 and stuff. But and also attacking the bishop. Bishop takes and your pawn takes, you're going to get the rook for free and stuff, right? I mean, there are some tactics here, but you're hoping, you're dreaming. I mean, bishop b5, and then what if knight c6? Just like that. So you play bishop b5 and knight c6. They're not going to take your bishop. Yash, I don't know why he did knight c3. It's not clear to me. We'll see. We'll check with the Almighty later on and see what's Stokefish got to say about this. But it's definitely a little bit surprising. I was actually thinking that your knight needs to stay on b8 indefinite. I mean, you need to keep the knight there for the c7 threat, right? Anyway. Now I suspect either bishop d3, so let me just highlight the moves. I think they are candidate moves here. So either bishop d3 or bishop b5. So these two. Bishop d3, bishop b5. Bishop b5 could be knight c6, for instance. And playable, I guess. You could play also rook hg at some point. If black does castle short, you definitely go rook g. Okay, game continues. You might have knight a2. Just threaten take this guy here. Then kind of like making black taking your bishop, but then you take with the king. Okay, that's another idea. There are a few ideas. There are quite a few ideas for white, I have to say. Actually, you got one that makes a lot of sense. That's that kind of move that it can't be wrong. So bishop d3 is that kind of positional move that it cannot be wrong. You know, you just move decent stuff. Bishop d3, that's good. Bishop b5, I think that's good too. Also knight a2. So you can consider these three candidate moves. Personally, I would get the bishop on f1 to be active. I like to activate my pieces. But maybe he thinks differently. We'll see. back to Hans, perhaps? That's what we advertise. Thank you, my TikTok friends. I appreciate very much your presence here. Oh, what happened with this, guys? They're still playing, right? Yeah, they're still playing. So, there you go. Exactly as I said. You can't just play with the knight on h4 doing nothing. So, knight on the rim, this guy, and also, due to the fact there is a g6 black pawn defended by the knight and by the bishop, you're not going to do anything with this knight on h4 anytime soon. So, you may want to reroute your knight. So, knight f3 makes a lot of sense from this point of view. Totally. Knight f3 makes a lot of sense. You can't just stay on h4. You're not going to do anything. And then again, rook c to d also makes sense. But wait a second. Did they draw? Oh my god, they drew. Okay, I understand it's not too much juice left in the position, but it was quite playable. The game is not that finished. Okay, knight d7, knight d3. Bishop f7, bishop takes h5. Okay, they didn't want to force anything. I understand now. I was wondering why the hell do I get the evaluation gauge because I didn't toggle it or something. Okay. Okay, I understand it's not too much of doing here, but I guess you can still play for a while. Okay. I guess they're not gonna play today, right? Round number 6, classical. When is round number 7? Actually, I don't know. Round number 7, classical. Okay. That's what it is. Overview. 10th of August, 6 round match, help from the time is 90 minutes for the entire game, and this and that and this and that. Total player with the highest total wins the match. So they're gonna do blitz, you telling me? Are they gonna do blitz now? I mean, like today? Because it looks like the whole event lasts 8th August, 10th of August, right? Sharing is caring, of course. But boards. So they're going to play now blitz, right? Because, 3-5, 2-5. Of course they're going to play blitz or something. 6-6. Okay. He proved his worth. Didn't he say that chess speaks for itself or something? Okay. So he proves his worth. Okay. But I really want to see him playing Magnus. Really. Okay. Cool stuff. We're going to keep an eye on this one, guys. So in case they do some blitz, I'll try cover that one as well. Especially if they play today, right? I mean, today is going to happen, the blitz, right? Rapid or blitz or... Okay, cool. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Let's see. Levy doing his stuff. Board number 15. Oh, whoa. Cover the whole thing, man. Cover... We don't want to see... where is Levy? 15. Board number 15. So, bishop d2. Knight e7. Oh, he didn't move nothing. He didn't move anything. He didn't move anything. All right, so I was saying bishop d3, bishop b5, or knight a2. Which one is it? Which one is it? Bishop d3, there you go. Yeah, he just played bishop d3, as I said. Although I would have played bishop d3, I think, ages ago. But probably he wanted to calculate as much as possible. Bishop d3 is one of those moves, as I said, that can't be a wrong move. So bishop d3 is incredibly practical, makes a lot of sense. It's very positional. Targets the h7 in case there is a castle short. You do a little bit of attack. You control those squares. It's nice. There is no knight coming anytime soon. Even if bishop takes, you covering b5. You can move b1 if necessary, but bishop d3 will stay there forever. And the king is going to go e2. I'm almost pretty sure about this. King e1 to e2 makes sense. And yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. We're going to see some knight a. I think Levy wants to get that bishop either traded or gone, so that after king e2 and some rook a1, he can have some pressure on the a file. Thanks for the update, Yash. So you're saying classical and blitz is done. They're going to be doing rapid in 17 hours. Oh boy. Oh, that means tomorrow's Sunday. About tomorrow's Sunday. So now if it's 4 p.m. UK time, right? That means about 8 p.m. or something. Okay, cool. That's okay. That is fine. Very many games happening today in the chess events. Many stuff taking place here. Look at this. On the Lead Chess, you've got so many. Copenhagen Chess Challenge 2024, so many. I mean, there's so much stuff going on in the world of chess. So much stuff. Okay, let's see what Bogdan Daniel did here. Yeah, he did take the a5, as I said. So knight e2, which I did anticipate, queen f6, d4 I did anticipate, bishop d6, bishop f4, rook took the pawn on b2, hanging, b7 hanging, true, but also white took on a5 with the queen. Now rook keeps taking, rook takes on b2. White has a pass pawn on a3. So that's very important. And also another pass pawn here on d4. So these guys are very dangerous for black because they are potential promotions. So black has to be very careful about this one. And also there is plenty of tactics still taking place here. You need to simplify things in order to take advantage of the passed pawns. So white is better here in my view, and white should be winning. 24 minutes, way more time than his opponent. The GM, what flag is that? Hungary? Hungary, yeah. So I think white's just simply better because of the pass pawns and should be winning. And you need to simplify the whole thing. Now, if you capture and queen takes, you need to pay attention to the checkmate on h2. So you have to play carefully. And probably some g3 required or knight g3. I'm not sure because this guy then is hanging. Or maybe you shouldn't take the bishop. Maybe you should play h3. Being white here, maybe you should do... Oops. Sorry, that's not what I played, right? Apologies. Right, okay. So h3 again. What about h3? h3 pushes the knights away. You have to move that guy, right? Knight has to go. So knight's gonna go where? h6, where else? So the knight is on the rim. That's good. This is really good. And then you can trade. Then queen takes. Then you can play knight g3 and target the f5 bishop. You attack a piece. By the way, when the queen goes on d6, actually your queen can take this guy straight away. I think that's interesting. So let me just do again the thinking. h3. Knight goes h6. Bishop takes d6. And when queen takes d6, I'm winning the piece on f5. So I'm kind of like winning. So you got more material, right? With this sequence. So white's winning, right? h3, knight h6, bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, queen takes f5. What the heck? You're up a piece, right? You're up a piece, you have a pass, two pass pawns, and you're up a minor piece. So you just win. The other guy should just resign, especially because he's on like 5 minutes. And until move number 40, until the threshold, it's like 19 more moves left. That plenty of time. There are plenty of moves, I want to say, and not too much time. No h3 right now as we speak, Yash. There you go. There you go. h3 right now. Again, we don't need any bloody software. h3, there you go. And knight's gonna go h6. Unless you do some crazy stuff and I'm not aware what exactly you want. Do you want to do bishop takes f4, knight plays, and then bishop takes h3. And if you take queen takes, there are very many subversive tactics here. I mean, h3 makes a lot of sense, Yash and my friends. Makes a lot of sense. And if you consider knight h6, simply white wins a piece due to bishop takes, and queen takes. That cool. What if, though, black plays bishop takes f4? Bishop takes f4, knight takes. Okay. And knight h6. Yeah, bishop takes f4 first. So you see, it's good to have a plan that wins a piece. Because if you took the bishop first, Yash, after queen d6, you are checkmated on h2. That is why. I hope the answer clarifies a bit. If you had taken the bishop first, Yash, without h3 being played, after queen takes, you are in danger of being checkmated on h2. And then you have to play g3, knight g3 to stop the checkmate. You're going to get checkmated, right? So there you go. Exactly as I said. No, you're not dumb. We're just improving, growing together. Don't say that. Yeah, so now it's clear, I hope. Exactly as I said again, bishop takes first on f4. That's exactly as I said. Yeah. Exactly as I said. Bishop takes f4, knight takes f4. Now the knight has to go, and there is only one square for the black knight, namely h6. So knight h6. There is no other way. Knight h6 now. There's no other square. And then you have to be careful with white, because bishop might take on h... No, they can't take on h3 because your knight takes on h3. Yeah, it doesn't work, bishop h3, because you're going to lose with black. I think white still is a bit better here, guys, because you have two pass pawns. Of course, white's better here. Of course, white should be winning. After, like, I don't know, at some point. So the only available move for black, I don't know why he spends so much time. Unless he wants to calculate crazy lines. Unfortunately for black, that knight needs to go on h6. Very defensive, very inactive. You need to spend more tempi getting the bishop somewhere in order to vacate the square for the knight. So it might take some time, indeed. So yeah, there's not too... There is no other square for the black knight. There is absolutely no other square. Let's have another drink. Okay. Let's have another quick drink. Or maybe not so quick. Or maybe not so quick. Okay, so we're going to move now back to Levy, because it might take a while for Cantor to decide what to play, but I guess knight h6. What else? And, oh, Hans drew with Anish. Cool stuff. Grand Prix. Okay, Bogdan, so we're going to go to Levy now. Board 15. Let's see what it's doing. Well, it's getting quite positional now. Bishop d3, knight to c6. I did say knight c6. And king to e2. I did say that one as well. King to e2. Okay, it's as if you castled. After the king's left, king to e2, you practically can move the rooks whichever way you find more suitable. So you could do a battery here. You could do whatever you want. You could do rook g1. You've got the bishop pair, and they look this way, which is sort of good. I guess some e4 is kind of going to happen at some point. Not quite right now, because you got an issue with this knight captures d4 check and things. So you're not going to do it quite straight away. You got to maybe get rid of the knight on c6, and then you're going to push the e. I think he is indeed, yes. I think Daniel is the strongest Romanian GM. That is, yes. I mean, at this minute, I think. Yes, yes. Yep, 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 yep. So, White's turn here. Rook G makes sense. Bishop B5 makes sense. You want to either make them take your guy and you take back with the knight, or if they don't, you take, and maybe you could push e4. I think something has to happen in terms of e3, e4. But you need to make sure the knight on c6 has disappeared, has been traded, or is pinned. One of these two. You gotta go in the center. And yeah, there is still some happening here. It's instructive. It's a lot of things. Middle game. E4 is one of those things. And rook hg. And probably g6. If you play with black g6 after rook g1, if you play g6, you're sort of weakening the dark squares, and the bishop will take advantage. And of course, and that's even more important to consider e4 with white. So Levy will play e4 sooner or later. He can also go knight b5 though. Knight b5. Knight b5. Knight takes, bishop takes. Yeah, that makes sense. That may be this. You have to take them step by step. Okay, you could play rook a1, that makes sense. Knight b5, that makes sense. Bishop b5, okay, you could have played it already, but rook a, bishop b5, or knight b5, or rook g1. So 4 candidate moves. Which one is it and why? Rook ha1, knight b5, bishop b5, or rook hg1 to attack g7. Which one is it? Which one is it, my friends? Feel free to type it in. And maybe. What other games have we gotten? We've got very many. We've got very many taking place. Very, very, very many. Which one looks more interesting? Well, they're all interesting and they're all instructive. Okay, I'm just curious about this one. We got another Daniel. What flag is that? Belgium? What's that? What? Belgium, yes, I was correct. That one, Uzbekistan? Azerbaijan, apologies. Azerbaijan. Okay, cool. What's going on here? There we've got two GMs battling here. H4. Do you know something? I like the dark squares here. I think the white queen should take advantage of the dark squares. Yeah. Anyway, it's black's turn to play. So I guess queen should do something, perhaps queen e3, queen d2, in order to play some queen h6. I think that makes sense. And then try some h5, maybe? Maybe a rook here. Maybe you're going to be sacking a rook for the knight. You know, that's a bit of... It takes a bit of time, but, you know, queen e3, queen h6, rook h1, and you push the h pawn. Yeah, but there is also a rook, isn't it? Yeah, not that simple. Or maybe g4 and then, but queen e3 first and queen h6, maybe. Maybe. So there is the dark squares, and these are weakened now and exploitable by white. So totally the dark squares. All right, let me look at this one. We got another GM. Brunello playing Nazari. What flag is that? Iran. Okay. Oh, the same colors. Italy. Looks like the same colors, but in the Italian flag they are vertical. In the Iranian flag they are horizontal. Okay, cool. And there is something in the middle. Okay, cool. So what's going on here? Ooh, what a strong battery. Very strong battery. The Black Knight can't move e4 due to the pawn, but you can if you want to. You can play knight e5 if you're white here. That's an outpost for now. Quite a good looking outpost. It's really good stuff. So knight e4, rook's here, and maybe you can attack f7. Knight attacks f7, rook c7 also would attack f7, so that's totally something. It's a line of attacking. Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, you could go knight c5 as well, but I think rook c7 first, maybe? Or maybe knight e5? Maybe. Okay, black's turn to move here anyway. Black's turn to move here. Okay, come on, Levy, did you move anything? He really takes his time. 27 minutes after king d7, Levy didn't move nothing. He's still debating. He's still debating. Well, there are four main moves. We said, I think, rook g1, knight b5, bishop b5, or rook h a1. That's what we said, I think, as the candidate moves. So I think he's going to decide upon one of these. I think so. I think so. Yep. Thanks for visiting, my friends, whoever you are, and whatever platforms you use. I'm multi-broadcasting now. Feel free to follow me on my YouTube channel as well, where I regularly upload some chess videos for beginners, intermediates, and sometimes for advanced, if it's like knight and bishop checkmate and stuff. Okay, let me look at this one. Any happenings here? Certainly there was. Certainly. So we had h3, bishop takes, knight takes f4. He didn't play knight h6. He actually pushed e3. Oh, that's interesting. You know why? Because if we take bishop... No, wait. If we capture... Is it pawn takes or bishop takes and this guy's under... Sorry, there's something going on here. What the heck is this? But wait a minute, can't we just perhaps attack the queen and also attack this guy? But I'm attacking the queen with tempo. Okay, they're gonna do check, right? I see. I see. Well, maybe we take the knight first. So we take the knight. And then bishop takes, and your knight's under attack. But then you can play knight to d5. You attack the queen and e3. It can't be that bad, right? Yeah, I think so. H takes g4, bishop takes g4, knight plays d5, and you're actually attacking those two squares. I mean, I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense, right? I don't see why not. That makes sense. So I think you should take the knight. You should take the knight. Knight takes, bishop takes, knight d5. That's good, right? Okay, okay, Wes. Yeah, that's okay, guys. Yeah. Thanks for visiting the stream, Wes. That's perfectly fine. Appreciate you updating. Okay. What do you think about this one? You reckon you should take the black knight? If you were with white here, would you take the black knight? H takes g4, bishop takes knight d5. I think it works, right? You should be winning with a white. I don't see why not. Yeah, not mentioning you also might be having this after you capture the knight. So you take the knight. If bishop takes, you're also having this. Attacking the queen and defending the knight and pressurizing e3 even more. So I think there's quite a few avenues for white there. White is just simply better here and should be winning, I guess. I'm on the opinion that I could get my friends, my students to 2000, to my, so to speak, personal level. And what I'm doing is just exactly what you see right now, coupled up with puzzles and lessons every day and playing chess every day. And I guess everyone should be able to reaching 2000 sooner or later. It depends on the level of their commitments, the sincerity, the integrity, the amount of work they put in. Everyone should be hitting the 2000 on chess.com or Lead Chess. Or the secret is always the same. I mean, it could be individualized. As soon as you're looking through your games that you're playing, you should be able to identify the main reason for the loss, let's say. That is why the emphasis should be perhaps on the losing games or the games that you've lost. And they should be showing if you blundered right from the opening, like you blunder pieces in the first 3, 4 moves are very bad. So the opening might need improvement. Or if you have some issues in the middle game and tactics, so you need to do more puzzles. Or the ending, maybe the endings need to be addressed as well. So yeah, with the analysis of one's games, you should have a clear image of what needs to be improved. Opening, middle game, or ending, or maybe all of them. The recipe is always the same. There is no other trick. There is no other magic. It's just the sincere effort. Is this the work you put in? That's the only secret. There is no other secret. Okay. Okay, what's going on with those guys? They're arguing again. Oh, man. Okay, we've been here. So let me see, actually, where is it? Spillenberger, board number 15. Where is Levy? Hey, what did happen? What did happen? King d7, knight b5. Yeah, that was one of the moves, candidate moves I had recommended. Bishop takes d2, knight takes e7, taking the knight with tempo, threatening the rook. King takes and king takes. And I would say I'd rather have whites than blacks here, I'd say. Reason being that the bishop seems to be a bit stronger than the knight. Although the knight might be jumping onto b4, right? Yeah, they could, but then maybe you could play bishop b1 after this thing happens. Or maybe after knight b4 you play rook h to a. Yeah, but then they play b6, you don't do nothing. Okay, we need to reconsider. Hold on a second. You always have, Wesley, you always have the chessable courses if you want to stick to a particular line of a opening or with a particular opening. So where you know you're actually lacking the improvement. So you need to revise the game, look at the opening, middle game, and ending, and see where you actually did do the blunder. Now, if you play bullet, doesn't mean anything. If you play bullet or blitz, it's not concluded. I think you need to do rapids or longer time control, then look at the games where you spent, let's say, I don't know, some time before you actually moved. So see exactly where does the software tell you that you did a blunder or you did a mistake or you did a an inaccuracy, and then focus on that particular thing. Was it a tactic? Was it in the opening, or bad end game execution? I mean, did you have like material advantage, pawn majority, and you weren't able to convert, or you lost in the beginning, or all of them? So upon the analysis, you should be able to identify what exactly doesn't work in the rapid. Always the software on Lichess always tells you the accuracy, and it tells you the mistakes you did. So that should be helping. Totally should be helping. Absolutely. So let me go back now to, yeah. Oh, black's turn to play. Okay. For black here, could you do b6? Not really. There's something about rook hc. Actually, that's where the king is. So b6, it's complete weakening of the c6 square. So I don't like it very much, being black here. I think actually white is a little bit better. Could you do knight to b4? Yeah, but then you can't really stop the rook c1 check. Definitely, I think white is a bit better here. White can attack on multiple ways. You can attack along the g file, the g7. You can make some rook h to c, and you can push e4. So from white's point of view, you do have some more initiative and more opportunities here to attack. Okay. That being said, all right. So guys, we're going to call it a day now because we don't have too many viewers at this stage now. So we're going to take a short break now. And whether I'm coming later on this evening or tomorrow, definitely I plan to return. Have a look at my latest YouTube video. And Wes, you have to analyze your rapid games and see what the engines say there. You need to play a better move, see what stage of the game, and just focus on that one primarily. And the progress is inevitable, as I say. As soon as you do that and you just commit yourself, honestly, the progress is inevitable. Or maybe on the next stream, we can look at your game together and we can just change a few friendly ideas. Okay. Thanks very much, Wes. Thank you very much, my friends. We'll see you shortly. Cheers, guys. Take care.